from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So I would
well,
like to take a break at this moment.
yeah,
and we'd like to have a
I'm done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record. President Clinton took trips on Mr. Epstein's jet, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you consider offering a private jet as a donation in kind to the foundation?
Well, I don't know what the rules are under the 501c3 regulations, but it was certainly a gift, and he was, one of a number of people who provided transportation so that Bill could do the work he was doing. Instead, you have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers. If this committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein Files. If the majority was serious, it would not waste time on fishing expeditions. There is too much to be done. What is being held back? Who is being protected? And why the cover-up? As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or offices. I have nothing to add to that.
The original email here is from Mr. Colomb, and he asked, could you organize a discreet meeting between Sarko and Hillary Clinton in New York? If not, who should we ask? Mr. Epstein replies, meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. When? We started to touch on this earlier. Are you aware of Mr. Epstein or any of his staff reaching out to anyone on your staff to set up a meeting?
I am not aware, and I find it kind of weird because I know Sarkozy, he would not have needed, if somebody was seeking a meeting with me and Sarkozy, he would not have needed to go through anybody else. He could have contacted me directly.
Understood.
This is an interview by the FBI of an Epstein victim. It is 3501.144-032. And on page 8, which I'll give back to you, or I can read it to you. I'll give this back. If you can read the last sentence.
Would you please read?
I'm not interested in reading something. I have no idea what it is. If you want to read it, go right ahead.
Okay, I'll read it. I was called a liar over this. So this particular victim stated on the record in an interview with the FBI, Epstein wanted blank, the name of victim number 1, to say that blank, victim number 2, was a liar and that President Bill Clinton was never on Epstein Island. So I stated earlier for the record that Epstein directed victims to lie about your husband's visits to Epstein Island. I was called a liar. This is the
Excuse me, you were
document.
called, that is not accurate. The record will reflect, and the court reporter can read it back with respect to whether or not President Clinton had ever been on Epstein Island. If somebody had represented that would not be
So
accurate.
I said that
was nobody
Jeffrey
made a
Epstein
statement about
directed
you.
that Jeffrey Epstein directed this victim to state a lie about Bill Clinton never visiting the island. Now on page 7, for the record, which I know you've never seen, there's a fully redacted paragraph, and that fully redacted paragraph in the unredacted files of the DOJ reveal that President Clinton, it redacts his name, and it also discusses notepads that the victim wrote down in phone calls with Jeffrey Epstein because she was told to lie about another victim and lie about Bill Clinton's visits to Epstein Island. I don't know why this information is redacted. And also the attachments in this file, by the way, there were notes. You cannot see those at the DOJ. They are still redacted, which is the reason we're here today. We want to get to the bottom of this and get the truth. My next question is...
Excuse me, was there a question?
I'm making a statement. I want to know if she's ever seen this document before, and she was aware. I was called a liar earlier. This victim was told by Jeffrey Epstein to lie about Bill Clinton's
She answered
visits
that
to.
question.
Okay.
Congressman.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with a young woman being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
Secretary Clinton, we've touched on this a little bit, but just to make sure the record is totally clear here, you have said that you have never been to Mr. Epstein's island. Is that correct?
You know
You've never
what?
been.
I am so tired of answering that question. If you have one scintilla of evidence to the contrary, put it forward. I have never been on his island, period. I've never been in his homes, his offices, his anything. So I don't know how many times you have to say the same thing over and over and over again. And I just am struggling with the relevance of all of this. But no, I never have been. I really appreciate that question, and I can't say that about many of the questions, but I really do appreciate that question. And I think it's an absolutely essential question for you to try to examine and find answers for. And I think you said that you had either document requests or maybe even a subpoena to the CIA. I would also include the DNI. I would include any counterintelligence or appropriate unit within the Justice Department. I think you have to cast a wide net. And now that, as you describe, the government in the UK is investigating both Andrew Mountbatten and Peter Mendelsohn, maybe they would cooperate with you in their investigation. And maybe, you could reach out to the intelligence agencies of other countries that you're looking at. Israel has been mentioned. Perhaps that is one to be. I don't think Iran is going to cooperate, but I think, or Russia, but I think you could, certainly go to the UK and go to Israel and see if they would be at all helpful to you.
In your experience as Secretary of State, and I know you were First Lady, but you were more active, in my opinion, than most First Ladies in the President Clinton's administration. Does he exhibit characteristics? Is there a pattern that would lead you and your expertise to believe that he was an asset?
Well, there certainly is in the files, and I do commend you for getting as much released as you can. I hope you can get it all released. Hints of relationships with powerful foreign leaders, pictures, emails, meetings. He was clearly somebody who traded off of information.
Exactly.
He liked to collect it and then he liked to use it. I don't know any more details than that. So he is certainly, I said earlier, the intelligence connections, the money connections, the crimes, those seem to me to be the three major elements of your investigation.
Would you consider Ms. Maxwell a friend?
No.
Would you consider her a friend of President Clinton?
He'll have to answer that.